still be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here to share all of my Toddler CC hairs I currently have in my game with you, and there is over 200, so we're gonna spend a bit of time together today, okay? As always, you can find links to all of the CC in the description down below, and I'll also make sure to link 2 more playlists for you guys that have multiple CC videos for not just toddlers but also kids and infants in them. I know it's very hard to find cute maxis match CC for the little ones, so you can go check those out if you're still in need of more CC after today's video. But without further ado, let's get straight into this. I hope you're all doing well. Like I said, this video, she's a long one. We're gonna be here for a while, so make sure to grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a whole meal or whatever you need to be comfy for the next like 18 minutes, and let's just sit back, relax, talk about life. I hope you are all doing well. Hope you're gonna have a great weekend. Let me know what your plans are if you want to. I was supposed to upload this video yesterday, and if you have been following me for a while, you probably were like, Cora, it's Friday, where is the dang CC video? And it just took me a hot minute. I don't know. My sleeping pattern right now is all over the place. I don't go to sleep until super late because I just don't get tired, and there's no point for me to force myself to sleep, even though I do need to work again on like reading before bed, because I feel like that always used to help me and make me very sleepy. But I also am sick right now, so I'm sorry if you can hear it in my voice or if I need to take like multiple breathing breaks because my nose is blocked. But yeah, I should start getting back into reading, and I really want to. There's like so many books I want to read or need to read because I need to return them to the library, but I don't know, I just go in and out of phases. If you read, let me know how it is for you. Is it like very consistent? Because last year I read like close to 70 books, but it was all in like, I think the excitement of me signing up to my public library, because I just didn't sign up to it. I figured we had like a lot of German books and I prefer to read my books in English. Well, I do for like all books, unless I guess they're written in German, then I would read them in German, but I have not read a German book in a very long time. I just prefer when I read from writers that write in English originally to also read it in that language. It just makes more sense to me. I don't know, it feels more like the real thing than the translated version, and it's also good because I learn new words, and I don't know, it's just nice. I also just kind of prefer the English language when I read. I don't know why. But yeah, it was just like the whole excitement of being able to read English books from my library. Like I said, I assumed it was all German books, but then I realized they had like a huge selection of English books, not only at the libraries. There's not that many at the one that I go to. It's a decent amount, you know. They also have a lot of newer releases, which is great. Like recently, it was so funny. If you read, you read romance, you've probably heard of Emily Henry, and she came out with a new book this summer that I really wanted to read, but I went to the library and found it there, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a lucky find, because my library is not, there's like a small English section because I live in Germany, so why would they have a ton of like English books, you know? I mean, I wish they did because I would profit from it, and there's definitely a lot of English speaking people in Berlin, especially where I live. But either way, what was I getting at? I feel like I'm gonna lose track so much. Today is just one of those days, but I went, and that was like before I went on holiday with my family, and I was like, oh my god, they have that book. That was such a lucky find. I've been meaning to read it. I've read, I think all of her adult romance books so far. I think there were 3, and I weirdly liked the one that, or maybe there were 2 or 3. I can only recall. No, I think there were 3. And I liked one of her books that most people, it was their least favorite out of the 3. I think no one hated her books. Everyone I've heard talk about it liked her books. I just think she writes very nice romance. I'm not a very romance girly. I usually read thrillers, but her romance books just hit differently. I don't know. They're just so nice to read, and I always kind of like fly through them. But anyways, let's return back to where we started, okay? I found that book at the library. I was very lucky. It literally had only released like a month before even. And I was like, that's so lucky. So I got it. took it home and then didn't manage to read it on vacation because everyone was always talking and I could just not focus on anything. So I didn't end up reading that book even though I wanted to. Then I started reading a different book because my boyfriend has read it, and I kind of wanted to like tandem read it with him at the same time, but didn't really work out that way because I was still reading another book. I'm currently reading 5 or 6 different books as well. I don't know what is going on with me right now. My life is just pure chaos, and it reflects in how many books I am currently reading. But yeah, so I haven't gotten into that, and it was so funny because I had to return it to the library before I could get to it, and I was very upset because I was like, I really wanted to read it, and now it's gonna like take forever until I can get my hands on it again, because I don't even know if they have a ebook version of it available at my library, but if they did, I probably would have had to wait like 20 weeks or something ridiculous because it's a very popular book. So I was like, okay, that's kind of a bummer. I was already toying with the idea of buying it, even though I don't really buy books because I don't want to own a lot of books. I have like toyed with the idea actually to buy the books that I really liked, especially to also give them to friends to read, you know, just so you have a little bit of your own library of books that are curated by yourself that you know are good. And if you ever maybe in a slump or something, you can always return to them and reread something, even though I don't reread books. So this makes no sense, but hey, that's how my brain works. We don't make sense here. We just go with how we feel. But anyways, went to the library, returned the book. How long can I talk about this story? Like, what is going on? I'm sorry if this is extremely annoying to you guys, but hey, we're here. I always lose track of what I'm saying, kind of my whole shtick, so we're just rolling with it, okay? And I took the book back, was very upset, like I said, and then I originally didn't want to take any more books out, but I was like, I'm already here. I might have a little, you know, peek, see what's good, see if they have anything new. So I went, and they had another copy of that same exact book, and it was just the funniest thing because they had like one with a US cover and one with a UK cover. It's so weird still to me that there is different covers for the UK and US a lot of the times. I usually actually prefer, I think, the UK one. So maybe it's like a European thing, I don't know. I guess, I mean, it is targeted more towards people from the UK, so maybe that's what I prefer style wise, but who knows. So I picked it up, and now I'm like very excited to read it if I do get to it. I need to. I really need to. You need to hold me accountable, okay? Just like send me a text message every day being like, Cora, read the damn book. You need to get to it. But I also have like another book that I've taken out, like an ebook that I need to finish, that I started, got like 60% through, and then had to return, and then had to wait 12 weeks to get it out, like borrow it again, and now I have it for like a few more days. And it's so confusing because it's a thriller with a lot of different people, and I continued reading and I was like, I don't remember what the plot point was, like what are we trying to find out? And now I remember like tiny bits and bobs about it, but not a lot. Like, it's so hard because I am the worst with names as it is, but then 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks after reading something, I will have no idea what any of the characters are called. And usually 60% into a book, they don't make a lot of reference to make you remember what person they're talking about when they use the name, because at that point, I think you're supposed to know the names of people, even though for me it would always be helpful, you know, if they were like, this and this person, who is my cousin who did this and this in the book. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Because I'm just so bad with names. I don't know what it is. I recently have gotten into like talking to people on this one Discord server a bit more. And there's like quite a few people. And whenever they change their name, I get so confused because not their name, their profile picture. Whenever people change their profile picture, I get so confused. They can change their name all they want, but I'll always remember the profile picture. But if they change their name, not their profile picture, oh my god, this is so annoying. I am so annoying. I'm even driving myself crazy right now. If they change their profile picture, I will just never remember who they are. It's just, I think I remember visual things more than names. Names are just so tricky to remember, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. It's also interesting though, because if I have met you and talked to you in real life, I most likely will not forget your name for a very long time. Like at school, for example, when you went to a new class or a new school, a new university, as soon as people said their name and I looked at them, I usually remember them very fast. I remember at school, you know, when you get thrown into a new class with like 30 new people, everyone always took so long to remember names, and I kind of remember them super fast if I like saw the person had a voice to the name, that kind of thing. But online, geez, it's like it's the same with people that comment on my videos, to be honest, because if you don't change your profile picture and you've been here even a year ago and now after a year you leave another comment, I will most likely remember you. But if you have changed your profile picture, even if the name is the same, it just, I don't know, for some reason I can't remember it that well. There's also, I guess, a lot of things you have to remember throughout the day or that your brain kind of saves, so it's probably not that easy. I wonder if it's getting harder because of how many different stimuli you get from social media. I wonder if it's more difficult to remember things, because I definitely think it has done stuff to our short-term memory already, which for me, having ADHD, my short-term memory is like non-existent anyways, so that just is what it is. I have also recently thought about getting more into a spurt of the moment kind of cleaning plan, because I always try to make myself clean on like 1 day a week, but I've noticed that that is just not how my brain works. Whilst I can do multiple small things, like when I get up and I'm like, oh, it's dusty here, then I'm like always willing to like get out the vacuum cleaner and just vacuum. But if I'm like, oh, I'll do it on Sunday or something, I never end up doing it. And if I just do it in those little spur of moment things where I remember that I have to clean something, if I would just do it right at that moment, I feel like I would be fine. It wouldn't all be clean at the same time, but throughout the week it would probably all get cleaned once, which is good. I don't know, is anyone else like that? I find it so hard to have like a distinct day to do all of these things. Laundry as well. Oh my god, laundry is like my worst enemy. I don't know why. It's not that big of a deal and it doesn't take that long, and I like whenever this is so funny, but I actually always look at the time when I hang up my laundry, and when I take it down and put it away, I always look at how much time it actually took, and it's usually between 5 and 10 minutes. So it's literally no time at all. But for some reason, my brain, because I hate doing it, makes me feel like I spend 30 minutes taking down my laundry and putting it away, and therefore I'm like, oh my god, now I have no time to like relax and enjoy my day. Which is just so stupid. Like, it literally takes me 10 minutes max to do these things, but my brain makes me feel like it takes 2 hours. Like, what the heck? And it's just so annoying. That's why I think it's helpful to time myself, to be like, look, it took 5 minutes, it wasn't a big deal, like you could have just done this and you would have been fine. But it's just not how I work. Like, unfortunately, when I'm not interested in something, it always becomes a burden, and it's just so annoying. I can also tell that my nose is super blocked, so I hope you can't hear it, because I have this thing, well, more so with people when they lose their voice or their voice is a little bit croaky from when they're sick. I have this thing of like, it always brings me to tears, not like in a sad way, but just maybe the frequency they speak on, or just like that little raspy croaky thing in their voice always makes my eyes tear up. I don't know why. It's like such a it kind of reminds me of the noise when people like scratch a blackboard with their nails or something. Oh, just thinking about that made me like flinch. It's one of the worst things. It's so funny actually, because I don't even know if it's the noise for me, but I would never do it myself because I hate that feeling on my fingernails. I'm very weird about my fingernails. Like, I have been letting them grow out a bit more, and when I have to file them down, I hate that feeling so much. Like, I'm just sitting here biting down on my teeth whenever I have to trim them down, because I'm like, I hate this feeling so much. And I get the same with like a lot of ceramic things, like some cups that look very nice and like natural because they're just like made out of this like really nice ceramic, and they almost look handmade, and they have this like really is rustical a name? I think rustic is a word, right? Not name. Is a word, right? That are like very rustic feel to them, or homemade almost. I can't touch those. Like, if I accidentally scrape my nail on them, oh, like, just Ugh, I hate that so much. Is there something like that for you? Because I know a lot of people have things they don't want to touch or can't touch. I know for a lot of people it's like wet sponges or dry sponges. Or I've heard someone that doesn't like wet wood. Feels super interesting. For me, I think it's only really like those ceramic things. I mean, I can't even think about it. Literally everything in my body is tensing up when I think about it. I also feel like I was getting into a point at the start with the books and I haven't returned yet, and I think it was just about going to bed early, if I remember correctly. don't know. And I think I was gonna say that I used to read my book more. Like, if I read digitally, it's fine because I turn off all the lights apart from my little lamp that I have next to my bed, which is too dark to read physical books with. But I think that's why I haven't read my book, because I'm currently reading a physical book and I have been opening my windows only at night, like I said a million times, because it cools down at night. I'm not going to have them open during the day. It is cooling down now, so I think it's going to be better. But during the summer, I couldn't really read my physical books in bed because I would open the window. So I was like, I don't want the light on because a million moths and insects are gonna fly in and I can't sleep with insects in the room. So gross. Flying ones, that is. I weirdly don't care about like little bugs that can't fly much, or spiders, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, whatever. Grasshoppers, I'm not that bothered about either. It's things that really fly that gross me out. Moths specifically, ugh, I think they're so gross. I don't know, I hate them. I think I'm definitely not alone with that though. A lot of people don't like them. And wasps, can't stand wasps, so scared of them. But whatever, my whole point being was I had my windows open, so I didn't have my light on, so I couldn't see my physical books. I couldn't read it. And then I didn't read any other books because I was like, well, I need to get through this one. But I really need to get back into a good sleeping pattern. Like, sleeping hygiene is so important. I know that, but we can't all be good all the time, you know. I'm working on it, but the thing is, once you've changed up your sleeping pattern, it's so hard to change it back, because I think the best times for me to sleep are to go to bed between like 1 and 2 a.m. or somewhere between like midnight and 2 a.m. is totally fine for me, and then wake up anywhere between 8 and 10. Even though I think preferably it would be like 1 to 9, so 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. that I would sleep. That is like, I think, my sweet spot, because I'm neither that much of a morning person nor a night owl. I do love the night owl lifestyle because everything just seems so much more calm at night, but I don't do very well if I get up too late during the day. I don't end up being very productive. I think I might be more productive in the morning, or maybe I just feel like there's more time left, if that makes sense, of the day if I get up earlier, and then I don't feel as stressed out by things I need to do. Because if I get up at 12, like midday, I'm like, well, day's already over, like there's no point in doing anything now, even though I obviously stay up until like 2 a.m. and then it doesn't matter, but it doesn't feel quite the same. All right, but with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I can't words today, it's not happening. Let's try that again. The video is coming to an end here real soon. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all next time. Bye.